Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today I'm going to be doing a 10 to 80% charge curve for the Chevy Equinox EV on a V3 Plus version 4 dispenser. Let's get into it. All right everybody, so first things first, here we are at a V3 Plus or version 4 dispenser. The cabinets are still version 3, so that's why it's 3 Plus. And this is a great development for not only Tesla, but for pretty much every other automaker, because these cables are longer. They go from being, I'm pretty sure, 6.5 feet now to 10 feet. I went ahead and tested, and the cable does in fact actually reach the car now. Here, let me show you. And this does have the magic dock, but I'm not gonna initiate that yet. And boom, this plugs. And if you didn't notice, I pulled in just to the spot like normal, and I'm using the charger that is assigned to this spot. So now if you go to a V3 Plus or V4 site, you're not going to block a Tesla from charging, which I think is great, and it's going to provide a much better experience. I don't know if they're going to start replacing V3 dispensers with V4 dispensers and just leaving the V3 cabinets until they eventually have the V4 cabinets. I'm not sure about that, but what I can say is if you manage to come upon a version 4 site, it is a really nice experience for a non-Tesla vehicle, especially ones who have the charge port on the wrong side, like most GM products do, and also Ford products as well. So why do another charge test? Aren't you tired of paying money? Yes, I am tired of wasting money, but I have a theory, and my theory is with the V4 dispensers, they have immersion cooling, and that goes all the way to the DC pins that go into the charge port. And I have a theory that is not actually the battery overheating, but it's the inlet overheating. Now, I could be completely wrong. Since my OBD won't present the data I want, I can't be for sure, but I do know that this theoretically will keep the at least the charge connector on Tesla's end, or the charge point operator's end, cooler, so it could potentially improve the charging. So once I go through this charging session, if it does have a better session than I've seen elsewhere, that will prove that. If not, it's something with the car that's causing the big GM dip. So let's go ahead, we're gonna plug in, get activated, and just get right to the charge curve. All right, everybody, here is the charge curve. So it starts as getting 500 amps. As the voltage rises, we get up to about 152, 53. I think 154 is the max we see for a little bit. And it kind of rides that until right here around 35, 36%, drops down to 123, where it stays there for a pretty long time until close to 50%. Here it is, the walk down, and then there's the GM dip. But we got from 10 to 50% in 17 minutes and 16 seconds, which isn't too bad. That's probably when I would unplug and leave if I was using a version 4 or version 3 Plus supercharger. Now here you're going to see it slowly climb back up. We've seen this before with the GM dip over and over again. And eventually it will recover decently, but not the best I've seen here at the end of the charge curve. And we got a 10 to 80% charge time in 40 minutes and 27 seconds. So here are the two charging curves. One is for the test we just saw for the V3 Plus version 4 supercharger, 40 minutes, 27 seconds. And then compared to the V3 Magic Dock supercharger I did a while ago. And it appears as though that the V3 Plus was about 2.5 minutes faster. And most of that comes from being able to hold that 500 amps much longer and even sustain faster speeds up until about, looks like 53-ish%. So all in all, using a V3 Plus V4 supercharger is going to be a better experience when it comes to charging time. But is it going to save you a ton of time? Not really. 2.5 minutes, you know, it's not like so much faster where you should only go to V4 superchargers. But it's still worth noting as far as looking at for testing purposes. And if you wanted just to charge up to 53% and then go, that would probably be your best play. here we are looking at a different charge curve comparison where we have my best charge session ever on an EA station, and then the session we just watched. You can see at the beginning they're very similar, and then eventually around about 45%ish, 44%ish, the V3 Plus has the GM dip start, whereas the Electrify America session kind of goes a little bit longer and then has the GM dip. Remember, well, if you haven't seen the video, you wouldn't remember, but I actually did have to unplug and replug into a completely different unit. Maybe that was enough time for things to cool down where it was able to hold out a little bit longer, but in general, pretty similar. And it does end up turning out to be a difference of about 3 to 4 minutes here compared to my best session ever to this V3 Plus Supercharger session. All right, everybody, that is it for this video today. Pretty interesting result. I'm pretty pleased with the beginning part of the charge curve. It kind of proved my point a little bit that the immersion cooling on these V4 dispensers was able to kind of improve the charging performance. However, as we all saw, we still had the GM dip, showing that there's still thermal issues with the GM products that need to be sorted out. But if they could sort those out, and maybe we could trim off 4 minutes of time, get to 36, maybe even 35 consistently, especially if you're at a V4 supercharger, that would be a really great experience for all GM drivers. So hope you all enjoyed this video. I thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to be able to bring this content to you all to hopefully answer those questions that maybe you had and weren't able to answer because you don't have many V4 dispensers around you. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow my sister channel, EV Charging Site Reviews, follow me on X, all the social medias, and I will catch you all next time.